Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Isaiah, and I want to welcome you into an emergency episode of the Midnight Express here on the MI6 Sports Network tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're just going to keep it short. We've got only one topic to talk about tonight, and that is some big news that came out of baseball over the weekend. We haven't touched base on that, during the last couple of days, so I just decided that we had to get into it before Wednesday hit and then the rest of the week hit. But feel free to comment down below and fire any questions that you have for me regarding this topic or regarding any topic or question that you guys might have. I would really appreciate it. We do have a comment from my guy Shardo Gupta. He says, "Hi, Isaiah. What's up, Shardo? Thank you for tuning in to an emergency edition of the Midnight Express. Hope you enjoy this episode very much." And also, Shardo says, "How are you doing, Isaiah?" I'm actually doing very well tonight on this Tuesday night, heading into Wednesday early morning. Had a pretty relaxing day today, just chilled out at my house. Ran a couple of errands early on in the day, and there wasn't really that much going on today. It was just a really chill day, and not a lot going on in the sports world. Football season just finished. The Super Bowl happened on Sunday with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9 to win Super Bowl 55 and win their second Lombardi trophy. And then now you just have this break period where basketball season is in full swing, but football season is done, gone, goodbye. Baseball season, we've got a couple of weeks before spring training. So right now it's just all about basketball. So the next couple of weeks is going to be kind of quiet in terms of the sports world, but it will slowly start to pick back up as spring training starts in Arizona and Florida in a couple of weeks. Actually, before I get into Chardot's comment and get into the topic for tonight, I just want to give a quick shout out to the people that make the Reese's peanut butter cup. I'm telling y'all right now, this is my favorite chocolate bar. Reese's peanut butter cups. It is so delicious. I mean, you have it right here, the chocolate, and then inside of it, you've got, the peanut butter inside of it. It is just so delicious. So shout out to all the people that make the Reese's peanut butter cup bars. They're just so amazing. Keep up the good work. But ladies and gentlemen, into our topic for tonight, I teased it at the beginning of this video, and that was the news that the Oakland A's, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Oakland A's finally made a big move here in the baseball offseason. It took them long enough to make it. The Oakland A's acquired Elvis Andrus, the longtime shortstop of the Texas Rangers, from Texas, in exchange for Chris Davis, rookie backup catcher Jonah Heim, and a couple of more prospects that are going to be heading to Texas in the deal. Also in this deal, Texas sends catcher Aramis Ramirez, who is a minor league prospect. He played previously with the San Francisco Giants before landing with the Texas Rangers. He's going back to Oakland. Andrus is going to Oakland, and also the Rangers are reportedly sending $13.5 million in cash to cover Elvis Andrus' contract. First of all, let me say this. I am ecstatic that the A's are finally making moves. It's about damn time that Billy Beane, David Force, and the A's front office finally wake up from their long slumber and started doing something, for crying out loud, to try to defend the AL West crown. Secondly, I think that this is a fantastic trade by the Oakland Athletics. The Oakland Athletics, they had a glaring hole at shortstop that was left by the departure of Marcus Semien to the Toronto Blue Jays. And all of us A's fans thought that with how cheap that this organization is, that the A's would just decide to plug in a minor league player or some guy that they got off the scrap heap and just plug him in at shortstop and start him on opening day. That would have been a disastrous plan if the A's had gone that route. And, the Oakland A's would have had zero production at shortstop if they did that. But now the A's, they get a guy in Elvis Andrus who has been one of the premier shortstops in all of baseball for the last, 10 years. Even though Elvis Andrus, he's not in his prime anymore, the guy can still play fantastic defense at that position. And also, he's a fantastic contact hitter. If you take out Elvis Andrus' production from the truncated, shortened 2020 season and you give him a full 162 game season with a regular spring training to get ramped up, Elvis Andrus hit 275 with 12 homers and 72 RBIs back in 2019. And he's shown that he can still be a productive player. Elvis Andrus, he doesn't have to be a guy that comes in and hits 30 home runs for Oakland to be great this season. All Elvis Andrus needs to do is play great defense and give the A's like a 260 to 270 batting average and maybe like 10 to 15 homers, and the A's are going to be good because that's how stacked the Oakland A's lineup is from top to bottom. You've got Andrus, and then you have Matt Chapman, you've got Matt Olson, you've got Stephen Piscotty, you've got Mark Canha, you've got Ramon Laureano, you've got Sean Murphy, who I think right now in the AL West, he's the best catcher in the AL West. And you just from the 1 all the way to 9, they are just loaded. Any of those guys from 1 through 9 is a home run threat in the Oakland A's lineup. That's how stacked that this lineup is. The only issue, however, that I'm worried about with Elvis Andrus is his health. Elvis Andrus has missed a ton of time in the last 2-3 seasons with injuries, but other than that, there's not really much you can hate about this addition. That's the only thing I'm worried about is his health. If Andrus can stay healthy and if he can give the A's like 155 games or 150 games this season, I think the A's are going to be in a great spot to try to defend their American League West crown. You look on the Texas side of the deal, Oakland didn't really give up that much to get Elvis Andrus. They gave up Chris Davis, excellent power hitter, was one of the star players in Oakland when the A's were going through that rebuild that they had back from 2015 all the way until 2018. But, Chris Davis, ever since he slammed into the fence while playing defense in left field in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, the guy just hasn't been the same. Ever since his injury, he's been an automatic out. And I think going to Texas with a change of scenery will really, really help Chris Davis try to become the player that he was pre-injury. And, Chris Davis, he's thrived in Texas as an opponent. If I'm reading this correctly, Chris Davis has hit the most home runs in Texas as an opponent. The guy just loves hitting in Texas. So I believe that Chris Davis, he will turn it around and he will thrive next season for the Texas Rangers. I'm really excited about this addition, and I believe that with this move now, the A's will vault them back to the top of the AL West just after this move by Billy Beane and the front office. It's a great move by the front office. Very excited about it, and I want to personally welcome Elvis Andrus to the green and gold. We do have a comment from Chardot. He says that, well, actually, let's get to his previous comment before we get to that one. He asked, how great of a player is Elvis Andrus? Chardot, Elvis Andrus is a phenomenal player. He was a great player when he was in his prime, just an excellent contact hitter, never struck out a lot. And I think that's what the A's really need. They need a guy at the top of the lineup that brings speed and brings not that many strikeouts, because this A's lineup, though they hit a lot of home runs, but they do strike out a ton. And, last year when Tommy La Stella came to Oakland, the A's lineup dramatically changed their approach. All of those guys are either home run or strike out. But after La Stella came, Tommy La Stella was a guy, just like Elvis Andrus, he didn't strike out a whole lot. I think he struck out like the least in Major League Baseball in 2020. He was a guy that put the ball in play. And after Tommy La Stella arrived, you could see that the A's, they started not striking out a whole lot. They started working the counts. They started, putting the ball in play, moving runners over from second to third, moving over runners from first to second. When there's a runner at third with less than 2 outs, getting those runners in without needing to get ahead. That really helped change the A's and made them a better ball club last season. I think that Elvis Andrus, him coming in, will help keep that in order for the Oakland A's. And, Elvis Andrus, even though he might not be the same hitter that he was back from 2011 all the way until 2017, but the guy sure can still play defense. He's one of the best defensive shortstops in the game. I mean, you look at some of his compilations, look at the jump throws that he makes. This guy is a phenomenal defender. He's a way better defender than Marcus Semien. So with him and Chapman on the left side of the infield, I think they're going to be a fantastic defensive tandem, and I'm looking forward to watching them play this upcoming season in Oakland. Chardot asks, also, do you think that Elvis Andrus will be a great fit on this A's team and will lead them to the World Series? Chardot, listen, I believe, I don't know about World Series, but I think the A's can take another step in the right direction. I'm talking about winning the ALDS for the first time in like 20 years and go to the American League Championship Series. This A's team, every single year, they've taken small steps every single year. First, 2018, with this young core of Chapman and Olsen and those rest of those guys. In 2018, this team was supposed to lose 100 games, but they didn't. They shocked the baseball world. They made the playoffs as a wild card. They lost in the wild card game in Yankee Stadium. Then in 2019, expectations were much higher for the A's. What happened? They win 97 games once again, and this time they make it as a wild card, and they get a home wild card game for the first time, a home playoff game actually, for the first time since 2013. And then this year, after those 2 years of not winning the wild card game, whether it was home or whether it was away, the A's, this year, they take another step up. They win the division for the first time in a long, long time, and the A's win the AL West. They win the wild card round for the first time since 2014. They win a playoff series for the first time since 2014, and they go to the American League Division Series. If this trend continues, I expect the A's to take another step up and go to the American League Championship Series this year. But we'll see. The A's, they still have a lot of holes that they need to fill. Andrus is a great start, but they need couple more relievers in that bullpen, because right now I don't really trust a lot of those relievers in that bullpen. Jake Diekman, he's slotted as the closer right now. I think he's a better fit for a seventh or eighth inning role, not as a closer. Lou Trevino, he's another candidate to be the closer after Liam Hendricks left. Lou Trevino, he's got great stuff, but he's just inconsistent time and time again. So I don't think he would be a good fit for the closer's role. AJ Puck, I mean, the guy has really great stuff. He throws 97 to 101 on his fastball, and he's got a nasty slider, but he just can't stay healthy. And when you play any sport, health is the best ability, or availability is the best ability. So, the A's, good start getting Andrus. They got to get, I think, a couple more experienced relievers in that bullpen. And then I think that the A's will be in a good spot to try to defend their title. Chardot also says that he thinks this is an outstanding move by the A's to send Andrus to the Oakland Athletics, and they made the right decision in his opinion. Well, anyways, guys, it's been a fantastic short episode here of the night shift, or not the night shift, my bad. My gosh, I am so used to our regular schedule here on the MI6 Sports Network. It is as short emergency episode of the Midnight Express. I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for tuning in to this late unscheduled episode. I hope that you guys all have a phenomenal rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you guys back here on the MI6 Sports Network on Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. for a special episode of Wild Sports Talk. Have a good night, everybody.